who is going to win an NCAA title? Can Penn State win another title, or is Iowa or somebody else going to come in and sweep that from them? Now, this is actually a question coming from one of the Fanco wrestling fans, and Brian Bourne, who wrote in, he said, can you please do a YouTube video predicting for NCAA team title for the upcoming 2020 season? Thanks and love your channel. I really appreciate that, Brian Bourne. Brian Bourne, of course, submitted that question by email. Email is the best way. You can submit a question in the link below on FancoWrestling.com. That is the best way to get your questions read on this show. Now, will Penn State win another title, or will somebody else take it from them? I believe that there are 5 schools right now, 5 schools that could win an NCAA title. What are those 5 schools? Well, I'm going to show you. First up, Wisconsin. We could see Ohio State, Oklahoma State, Penn State, or Iowa. Now, first thing I want to say, and I think it's important to say for every single video, but I want to say is that just because I'm mentioning these 5 teams does not mean that one of these teams is 100% going to win. Any team, I believe, out there has a shot. You could see things out there. These are just going off of stats, going off of guys that are ranked right now. And just my prediction. As a fan, as a wrestling fan, these are my predictions as teams that could win this year. So what is the outlook? Well, talking first about Wisconsin. Right now, Wisconsin has 5 guys that are ranked in the top 25. They have a potential to have, I believe, 1 to 2 national champions, or a couple of finalists at least. And I believe they have a potential to have 3 or more All-Americans, which is a solid year for Wisconsin. Now, I think that they definitely have guys who could be All-Americans who aren't necessarily in that top 25 right now, but right now, looking at their number 1 guy right now is Seth Gross, transferring in from South Dakota State. Seth Gross, a massive pickup for the Badgers. Now, they also have Evan Wick at who's number 3 in the country at 165. He had a great season last year, just couldn't pick up a couple of those victories. And then at heavyweight, number 6 in Trent Hilger. I think these are all guys who are going to be looking for titles this year for the Badgers. Now, the next team that I want to talk about is Ohio State. Ohio State has been a team that's been in contention the last couple of years. And I think that there's a very good shot that they are going to do well this year. Again, their last title was in 2015. And one thing I want to mention is that Wisconsin, the team I just mentioned, they've actually never won a title as a team. They never won a national team title. Ohio State has. The last time they won, the only time they won is 2015. Right now, they have 9 guys ranked in the top 25. I think that they have a potential to have 5 to 7 All-Americans this year, with 4 guys right now ranked in the top 10. One of those guys, of course, is number 1, Colin Moore. Colin Moore has had a rough national tournament the last couple of years, but I think he has a very strong shot, a leading shot to get that national title this year. Number 5 is Sammy Sasso. Sasso at 149 is a lot of guys' predictions to win this year as a freshman. And then number 3 in Luke Pletcher is moving up from 33 to 41. I think all 3 of those guys have a shot to make the finals and possibly win it. But definitely, I think, All-American. Now, next up on the list, Oklahoma State. And I think that I'm almost listing a couple of these in order as far as who I think is going to win. I'll give my exact prediction at the end, but I think that Ohio State just has a couple more guys than Wisconsin, and that's kind of why I'm putting them over them for right now to place. Next up is Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State and Ohio State, I think, are going to have a very tight team race competition. Now, Ohio State does have a couple more ranked guys than Oklahoma State, and I think Oklahoma State is going to have a tough time without Dayton Fix. Of course, Dayton Fix last year, you know, he made the finals and could have won. Could have won this year. I think we definitely see Fix win a title in the upcoming years, but it's going to be tough without him. But they do have Nick Piccinini at 125, who's a great point scorer, as well as Gefeller, JoJo Smith, and Dakota Gear. Now, Oklahoma State has some top guys. I don't necessarily know that all of them are pinners, And that's kind of what Ohio State's problem has been in the past, is that they don't always have guys who show up to pin or tack. Yes, they do have that happen, but like a guy looking at Pletcher who usually gets the job done, he usually wins, but he doesn't always win big. And that's kind of where Penn State's run away with it in the past, is because of bonus points. Now, of course, they're losing Jason Nolf. They're losing Bo Nichols, so that's going to be tough for them. But I think they have a chance to have definitely a couple of maybe a finalist or two. That's Oklahoma State. Now they have 33 total titles, and the last time they won it was actually in 2006. So could they win again in 2019? Leave your comment below. Who is going to win the national tournament this year? And the top two teams that I think have a very strong chance of winning this year are Penn State and Iowa. Iowa is a team that everybody's talking about. Why? Because they have most of their lineup that is returning. Most of their All-American, I think all of their All-Americans last year, I believe it's seven All-Americans from the past couple of years are returning to their lineup. Guys like Spencer Lee, Alex Marinelli, Caleb Young, Michael Kemmer, Austin DeSanto, who are all ranked right now in the top 3. Every single one of those guys I mentioned is ranked in the top 3. I think Iowa has a chance to, right now they have 10 ranked guys in the top 25. I think they have a chance to have 10 All-Americans, definitely in that 8 to 10 range, and that seems crazy, but absolutely possible, with the possibility of 4 to 5 champs. So if Iowa had 5 champs, that would be outrageous. If they had 5 champs, that would be outrageous. Now, the last title they won was in 2010, and they have 23 total titles. And the other team, the last team that I want to talk about, of course, is Penn State. 8 ranked guys right now in the top 25. I think they've, again, have 4 to 5 guys that could make the finals, could win. Now, we're not going to see all, like 5 and 5, Iowa and Penn State. Well, you know, I say that now. It's probably not going to happen, but just my prediction. With a potential of 8 All-Americans. I don't think they're going to get 10 All-Americans like Iowa could, but we could see Penn State do that. Now, like I said, Penn State has a very strong attempt. They do very well at getting bonus points. With a couple guys that are leaving this past year, and Nolf and Nickel, who are the 2 top bonus point scorers in the entire country, it's going to be tough for them this year. Their last title, of course, was last year. They had 9 total titles. 8 out of the last 9 years they won, and then another one back in the old days. But could Penn State win it this year? Could Iowa win it? My prediction, as it stands right now, is that Penn State wins the national title. Iowa gets the Big Ten title. We'll see what happens. We'll see, what happens throughout the season. But that is just my prediction as far as who is going to win it this year. The final rankings, my final rankings: Penn State number 1, Iowa number 2, Ohio State number 3, Michigan 4, and Oklahoma State number 5. Actually, excuse me, I'm taking Michigan out. I had them in there before all their Olympic red shirts. Oklahoma State at 4 and Wisconsin at 5. So Penn State, Iowa, Ohio State, Okie State, and Wisconsin.